if you tell them that pressure management is not buying PRVs, if you tell them what it really takes, maybe it will lessen that magical bullet and magical solution appeal that sometimes these things may have. Also focusing on institutional responsibilities that are the key to managing the day-to-day work that is needed for these programs to work. And hopefully also finding the tools for utilities and experts to build roadmaps for success in reducing non-revenue water by creating performance improvement plans. As you can see, the Secretary Generals of Aqua and Afwa, and I mean, they've been supportive. We had this agreement that ended up with Afwa members being with us because they did similar work. And we are sitting in a position where this may be adopted by many utilities in Aqua and Afwa. The project is done. We had a simple tool like this. It's called the Non-Revenue Water Diagnostic Tool. We tried it on different utilities, and we got some data of some correlations between some factors and how much we achieve a goal in reducing non-revenue water. We met with the Afwa team in Nairobi. We listened to the concerns and the requirements, and we developed a tool for them, specifically for Africa. And the tool had different sections that we do not need to talk about, but it produces the results automatically. That's the difference. The recommendations and the priorities are automatically produced. But these are very simple tools. In order to make this tool flexible and you can develop it further and you can add a knowledge base and you can modify the equations much easier than Excel, we started this website, and it houses the different tools. And of course, it has many advantages because water organizations can monitor the data being inputted in the field. For example, if an expert goes to utilities in another country, they can enter this information online and they can get these updated reports, and people in their office can check these data as they are collected. And we go with the utilities through the different goals of reducing non-revenue water. So low non-revenue water is an impact. It's an objective. It's too wide. We need to break it down into goals. And we go down to these different goals. In this version, we have 16. I think there are other ideas, of course, but we have 16. This is, for example, one of them. And we sit with the utility. We decide how far are you going with achieving this goal. And then we go through the different requirements to achieve this goal, the actions needed, the background environment, the institutional environment that are needed to implement this goal. And after the session is ended, you have the different recommendations produced depending on your position and how evolved and developed you are. And of course, you have the raw results, and the data can be exported into PDF or sent by email, and users can go and change these surveys. They can change the questions and change the weights, change the connections, etc. Now we are trying to, very soon, launching the non-revenue water toolkit for Aqua and Afwa, and we will try to gather as much data and correlate it with non-revenue water figures, performance data, and we're working on different tools, one for water auditing, a simple tool for water auditing to produce a water balance, a financial feasibility tool to help these utilities calculate these returns on different aspects of water loss, and a KPI tool. For future work and collaboration, as I will now talk, finally, I think we need to develop a criteria for benchmarking, not KPIs, I called it KPIs, but we need to find ways to evaluate, let me jump to this. We need to evaluate the middle line. So we start by resources. For example, you've heard today from Miyahuna, and also we have it in Aqaba, the FARA project, the fixed amount reimbursement programs. They are concerned with resources. They need to know that these resources are well spent, there's no corruption. What you see on paper is what you see in reality. And then you have evaluation based on the KPIs, on the level of water loss in the end. So this is what the regulator does. This is what goes on in the annual report. But nobody is looking after what's happening in the middle. How are these resources translated into actions that serve achieving these goals that will lead in the end to the impact of reducing non-revenue water? So the diagnostic tool that we produced is really only concerned in the middle part, that nobody has any clear definitions for. So what happens is that we send an expert to a water utility and they have their subjective assessment of the situation. And they say, I think they have good pressure management control. What does that mean to have good pressure management? What does it mean to have good GIS? What is a bad GIS? What is the difference? So I think there's a really good need, a great need to investigate how to define these things, because from our results, at least in the Middle East and African region, they should look the same, more or less. There aren't many different solutions. There aren't very great variations. Sometimes some things are more important. For example, some people have illegal use, and some people do not. But if you want to tackle illegal use, you have to cover more or less the same basis.
Mohammed, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. So if I go back, so the way we diagnose is, for example, we want to reach optimized active leakage control. Through expert knowledge and using good practices developed by especially the IWA water loss specialist group, we define separately what are the knowledge and skill needs, what are the material resources needs, what is the data and record and map needs, what are the institutional, organizational and procedure needs, and how to mitigate external factors. 3 levels are set for each of these goals. So for each goal you have 3 levels. It has an analogy to maintenance. So if you are good at corrective maintenance, you can proceed and do some preventive maintenance. And the more preventive maintenance that you do, the less corrective maintenance that you have to do. And then you go on to predictive maintenance. For example, we're talking about active leakage control. Reactive is to wait for the burst and then you fix it. But still, you need to have equipped repair crews. You need to have a call center, and you need to have data. You need to have GIS of the location of these bursts. There's a large array of things that you still need to do just to be good at reactively handling leakages. When you go to being proactive, like doing preventive maintenance, you need to know how to do leak surveys. You need to have listening devices. You need to do all these things. If you want to be optimized and go on, it's like predictive maintenance. You use minimum night flow predictions, snapshot ILI, you have pressure sensors. So you eliminate the need for both corrective and preventive maintenance, because you don't have to do preventive maintenance for the whole network if you have monitoring and DMAs. And this is the approach we did for commercial losses, for pressure management, etc. So I just will end by saying that I'm hoping these tools will be at least accepted by water utilities and eagerly filled up. They don't take a lot of time, and when they are finished, we can have some data so we can move forward and fill this gap between giving money to utilities and expecting them to deliver and lowering non-revenue water. And this applies to all different KPIs and not just non-revenue water. Thank you very much.
شكرا مهندس محمد. نفتح الباب للأسئلة إذا في حدا عنده clarification please. Yes please. إذا ممكن الاسم ولمين موجه السؤال من السبيكرز.
Yeah, my question is for Engineer Mohammed Shafei. Are these tools available freely available online or not?
It depends on Aqaba and Afro.
This is the short answer. What about the long version? I mean, how can we obtain these tools?
The long vision, these will become, I think they will develop into something much more interesting, and these all tools will become freely available. I think this will be a fast development. So I think within a few years there will be much better versions.
Okay.
في أي استفسار؟ ما هو لا واضح كتير لا ما عندش تبع. Sorry? It is too late. I said either it is so clear or no. Okay. شكرا كتير لكم ويعطيكم ألف عافية. أهلا وسهلا.